Hello and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, February 24th, 11:32 a.m. District Court, Defense Lobby Number 2. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? Called for Jake Marshall. Seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured out anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma. I always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. Top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey. I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay, so have you brought what I asked? Oh ho. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. SL9 incident. But Lana, that's a lot of paperwork. Thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. Can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Miss Sky was a witness. SL9 incident files received from Miss Lana Sky. Joe Dark killing solved 2 years ago. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now I've got your stuff, you're going to ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there. I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark... No, Lana. That's over with. No. Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? Just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago? This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. To be continued. Yeah, I guess I should have continued last time. Oh well. Trial letter. February 24th, 12:14 p.m. District Court number 9. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Speak clearly! Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, you listen hard enough, you can hear the howl wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. howling wind. Never heard Edgeworth be described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? Desperado's soul is as boundless as desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Day of the crime. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. Said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Can't say I particularly care for your attitude. Can't say I care for your beard, but don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. Reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks in the evidence locker? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weakness, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he is all yours. Day of the crime. Job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. Define... How exactly do you keep an eye on the evidence room? Just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitors. That room's so still. Even time dies there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. You interred them. Videos is nothing that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. Nothing unusual is recorded. Tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase the tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it's not going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. They say I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? Told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperado knows I know joined the police force. So Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. Haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Good question, Nick. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. You used to be a detective, so you used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. Couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite, incredible. Sensors and locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that, too. At any rate, it doesn't seem like this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Spaghetti Western. Not even Angel's Steak Lunch is going to beat that parlor's Volnese Septia pasta. You mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant! I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. It's usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want to raise this year?" I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, time I hit the trail. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west in the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it though, I better up the ante. Okay. Well, you've got a bunch of fingerprints here. Is this one I pinned this on? Nope. Okay, I'm guessing you're not as innocent as you'd like to say. Objection! There we go. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is you being called to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. Quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. Pay my respects, that is. I make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. Only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness! What is the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? Blood was wiped away. However, luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? Seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. Really? I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime. Blood-stained fingerprints. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprints was by chance. Blood-stained fingerprints are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. Really? Witness explanation appears valid. Although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. Defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. That's because you, how do you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happened to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently, his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Marshall's fingerprint updated in the court record. So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker's covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened, murderer touched the locker where my fingerprints was by chance. Chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. Chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Blood stains on the fingerprints are completely unrelated. Unrelated. They're as different as night and day. Kind of like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, the other's a type of murder. He is right, although seemingly unlike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There's a blood stain at the scene to be left by the murderer. That's right. It's found in Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture. Seal of blood. And desert's just food for the buzzer. There's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape. As long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going to go with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? Okay. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, is that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. That video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. Camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present. Please do so now. Yep, we'll show some evidence. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright. It might be you might wind up being the one making a mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Oh no. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. Okay, notice that is empty. That drops. He's down. And that suddenly shows up. Bring our attention back to the security camera. It's a mistake I'm afraid you'll not soon forget, Officer Marshall. Days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Are you threatening us, Officer Marshall? Because that won't do you any good next time. Have a good day.